You know, I don't usually emulate and install games that I never owned, but I was curious to know what kind of game Bionicle was. It was a 9 to 10 year juggernaut back in the day, not MCU levels, but still had a huge relevancy within mostly the world of toy collecting. And since it used a multimedia form of storytelling through comics, books, web animations, flash games, and direct-to-DVD movies, it was pretty obvious that LEGO would make a console game at some point. Developed by Argonaut Software and published by pre-MTX era EA Games, Bionicle started development back when the toy line was launched in 2001, and finally released during the Borak Call and Mask of Fight arc of 2003. At first it seemed like this game was going to be the game made for soon-to-be Bionicle fans, and even for gamers alike. And as someone who played Star Fox SNES and the PS1 Harry Potter games, which were made by Argonaut, I was actually excited. And thanks to that, it made me want to say, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna go install this game on the PS2 emulator. Speaking of PS1 Harry Potter, I noticed that after I said that I wished for more subscribers in my Robots game review so I can make that Harry Potter video, it gave me a sudden boost for my channel, although temporary. The fact that it somehow works despite the small amount of numbers makes me want to say, please subscribe to my channel, I need to make that Harry Potter video to point somebody out that no one's talking about!
For centuries, the bottom of 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 the deepest seas.
So the game's menu has all the Toa Nikini Nui, and as much as how epic they look here, the only thing that bars me is the slow text movement in the bonus section of the game, where you view all the characters here. Like, do I really have the time to wait for this? It's just so slow! I can't even tap anything to make things faster. Whatever, let's just skip to story mode. No, I actually saw this on YouTube and I actually thought I was watching a secret Bionicle movie taking place before the Mask of Light, because of the Toa Mata models, until I found out they aren't. Sad. The story of Bionicle is basically a retelling of the 2002 until 2003 storylines. It's been so abridged and so merged to a single storyline that it starts to lose focus, and here's what I mean. First, the story starts off with Takua, who probably awoke the Borak swarms, then all of a sudden infected Rahi comes back?
Makuta lives?
So we're off to level 1. Shrug of a comment informs us that the Taumaturn have evacuated, but not the Lamatoran, for some reason, even though they're using the Taumaturn sprite. So we're off to rescue the remaining villagers. Now when it comes to the graphics, well, it's pretty basic. The character models are shiny, but that's pretty much all I can say. It is very early PS2-ish, especially on the facial animations, which would sometimes go out of sync, and then there's some times when the characters' mouths just move for no reason. Controls work fine, but I really don't understand why the camera is so inverted. Does the PC version have this problem too? I haven't had to check the options to see if I could change it, but it's not even there. What about the combat? Is it any good? Well, seeing that you start as the team leader, Toa Tahu, aka the Spirit of Fire, who wields the Fire Sword, and the wearer of the Mask of Shield, clearly this means he fights like a flaming sword fighter, right?
Wrong!
Nope, for whatever reason, despite me being a sword fighter, melee combat is non-existent, because apparently according to Marking Matter, they didn't want to include hack and slash elements because the Toa are a bit smarter than that.
For us, because we didn't want to do sort of direct hack and slash, because that's not really what Bionicle's all about. It's about being a bit smarter than that.
Sheesh, I wonder why melee combat does not exist in the first two movies. Even though the entire point of the gear function is supposed to be a game for kids where they can fight each other to remove the enemy's mask.
Back, you foul creature! One more step and I'll...
So instead of melee combat, what the hell do the Toas use? Well, they shoot energy bolts, and that's it. Homing energy beam that just kills enemies. You do get a Nova Blast upgrade, but the problem is that the move is so slow to charge up that it gives enemies more time to shoot you. Like, do I really need to hold the charge button even though my energy is full to use it? Why can't I just press the triangle button and use it immediately? At this point, you might as well just be an anime character where the villain just stops the hero when they're charging an attack. Just be aware that your power is limited, so you can recharge it by grabbing this energy mask, find a shrine, or by using your shield, since that is Tahu's mask abilities after all, at the right time when an enemy beams you. Or you could just hold the square button when you're all alone and safe. As much as I find this energy conversion mechanic satisfying, it does get old a lot quickly. But at this point, I just wish you could just do other things than shooting balls. Wouldn't it be nice if Tahu could shoot magma and trap enemies with a heat wave? I thought I came to play as the Toa of Fire, not the Toa of Balls. And just like most LEGO games, you only have like 4 HP in this game. Except there isn't some true Jedi stud money collection, but instead you have to collect light stones and search for Matoran hostage villagers. Collect them all and you might unlock some bonus content. Ugh, this is one slow slide transition. The only thing I find confusing about the game's combat mechanic is this. Shoot a multi-bolt at the right timing? Like, what does that even mean? I'm pressing the attack button at the right time, but it's not even working. Like, am I missing something here? Like, what does it mean anyway? Okay, I know some people like to say that Bionicle ripped off Lord of the Rings, but come on, Matoran houses can't be this small. So the first boss is an army of Borak swarms, and I will admit this is actually a pretty fun boss fight. It's both easy and challenging at the same time, and I like how you're being surrounded by an army of them. It actually makes it exciting. So beat all of them, pick up a Krana which seems to be doing something to Tahu's head, as if it's trying to mind control him. Then Takua shows up and tells Tahu that it finds the Mask of Light early on this supposed 2002 storyline, even though it's supposed to be a 2003 storyline? Yeah, apparently he just happened to find it because of plot or something. But you know what? Fine. As long as the writers know how to merge two storylines into one, they might make a cohesive plot, right? Right? They aren't, are they? Also, what the hell happened to Takua's voice? Didn't he sound like a teenager just in the opening cutscene?
Help! Something! It's chasing me! You have to stop it! Toa, I was investigating the totems and saw a great Kanoe mask floating on the lava!
Why does it suddenly sound like his nuts and bolts got chemically castrated? Well, unscrewed in robotic terms. To block his puberty, so he won't grow up to become a man? Is this a plan of Makuta to prevent the rise of the 7th Toa? So Tahu was off to Kauai, and this is where we get to play as the fan favorite, possible self-insert, Toa Kopaka. Cause who needs to have color and body paint when you can just stay white unlike the others? Right, guys? But that wasn't a racist joke, I swear. Now Kopaka uses a sword and shield, ice powers, and has the Mask of X-ray vision. But he only uses it once, but it's just some visual presentation camera choice, just because he's in a dark room. So basically I'm using Wanua's flashlight mask.
Your mask power!
Because apparently X-ray vision isn't his real mask power. Do you know what it is? Yep, Tahu's shield. Listen, I get that he did have his own Mask of Shield, since the first storyline is about finding a white version of the Kanohi How. But no, he's just using the same old X-ray mask the entire level. Even though he has his own shield right there. But you don't even get to use it anyway, since the entire level is just him sliding down the mountain while hunting down 2 Boraks. You can't even take damage unless you shield bash them. Well, energy shield bash them, not your shield bash them. But yeah, playing as Kopaka kinda sucks when we don't even have an on-foot segment with him. And why the hell is Nuju talking? Isn't he supposed to speak bird language? Or did the old man mistake Kopaka for Matoro? Okay, maybe that is a racist joke this time.
Kopaka, Toa of Ice, you have saved our coral and we thank you.
If you somehow lose the level, get this unskippable game over cutscene of watching the village being destroyed. First of all, why? Why is this cutscene unskippable? Why are most cutscenes unskippable? Every time I press the start button, it just pauses the game. Like, just let me skip these cutscenes, please! Maybe this is secretly just a way to extend the playtime. Doubtful because there's no game playing around. So Kopaka defeats the Borak and... Mata Nui, what in Kurzani's realm is this?
Your courage and sacrifice have brought us the Zeo Crystal. It will bestow upon you powers beyond your imagination.
Already they got upgraded to Toa Nuva? No Dinosaur Sisters boss fight? No Exo Toa suit? No Prodermis falling? Nothing? They're just skipping parts of the story already. Actually, how did these guys even transform? Did the Krana have anything to do with them? What just happened? So Gali is up next. Dragon Okama looks like her face got sucked by a soul sucker. Is somehow surprised by Gali's new look, even though there's like a giant door with her new form here, like, what? What the hell's the point of this? Now Gali uses Hydro Axes, the power of water in a water breathing mask, but just like earlier levels, she still shoots laser balls, and doesn't use any cool water powers like creating some water spear. At this point, it made me realize that I'm not even playing as a different character, but more like I'm playing the same character as if I have multiple personality disorders. Like, they just feel like reskins. She even has shield powers like Tahu. Listen, if this game was like Donkey Kong 64 or future LEGO games, where each characters have different powers or skills to enter something, I can accept this, since she's the only one who can swim underwater. And speaking of swimming, do they really need to remove the ability to descend down and instead choose the high spot to jump just to make lightstone collecting harder? It feels unnecessary. Also, if you haven't noticed already, the text box instruction manuals keeps calling us us or we. As if someone is trying to talk to the player, but who really is it? The Toa? Are they breaking the fourth wall? Well, what if I told you that this is Takua talking? Yeah, that's right. Even though it doesn't even appear in some of these levels, the character viewer states that he's the one giving hints to the player. If you want more further proof that this is Takua, he even gives his tutorials in the GBA version. So this guy is meant to be the 7th Toa? The tutorial guy? Now, seeing that Gakoro is a female-only tribe, has anyone wondered what the water tastes like? Or how it feels like to swim there? It's not Gamer Girl bathwater, is it? How old is that shit anyway? 5 years ago? So the next boss is a swarm of Borakal, and while they do feel similar to the first level, they do have a different attack pattern this time. So Galdi just kills an entire squad of the elite Borakal, yes, all of them who had no build-up in the story or no foreshadowing. They just appeared for no reason for a boss fight, and the Borak storyline just ends. And all the characters just stop talking about them. Takua appears for no reason without warning and all, then suddenly the Arashi has appeared? Already? See what I mean when I said the story starts to lose focus? They just abandoned all previous plot lines because the story is just all over the place. It's not even a good way to retell the events of the originals. At this point, just go read the books instead. So the next level we play as the Toe of Stone Pohatu is known for his strong kicks, a claw, and of course, his speed mask powers. As a matter of fact, when I learned that the Pohatu is the only one where I don't have to recharge, I was pretty excited for once, since the square button isn't a shield button anymore. So finally I get to use the mask power that isn't the mask of shield. Finally, I get to use the mask of speed. And by using it, I mean as fuel for a cart minigame. Yeah, because the last time Argonaut did a cart minigame, that worked out well. Like, this is the entire level of Pohatu. You don't get to kick anything, you don't get to climb walls, and you don't even get to fight any enemies in this level. It's just a minecart minigame. So Pohatu tells Anua about an incoming Rocky attack, but it's already too late because, spoiler alert, he's right behind me, isn't he? So he tries to fight back the Rocky, but forgot that melee combat is non-existent.
Because we didn't want to do sort of direct hack and slash, because that's not really what Bionicle's all about. It's about being a bit smarter than that.
And for some reason, Anua's level has this annoying blur motion filter. Like, are they supposed to be earthquake effects or something? Like, just what are they? This level also involves with pushing rocks. Not sure if this is supposed to be a reference to the mask powers being the mask of strength, or if they just wanted to do something unique in this level. Also, what comes in this level are the Kane Ra, who are meant to be bull cow creatures in the Bionicle world. Here, it does seem like they've taken some creative liberties. Like, for starters, they're green instead of black, and looks more like a bull, like a real animal turns his cyborg. But they are still details of its Lego pieces. Same goes for the other Rahi here, who have a lot more creative liberties. So we get to fight Lirak, the poison Rakshi, and what you have to do is to block these ventilation vents to give him a taste of his own medicine. But if you ask me, this level feels like a step down from the Borak Swarm fights. And the Rakshis kick ass in the movies. In here, they're just lame. So you beat Lirak, and that's the last time we see of Anua. He doesn't even reunite with Pohatu. He just stays where he is and doesn't come back. So you play as Leo in the next level, and honestly, I don't have anything bad to say about Leo's level. From Tahu to Anua, I can't help but think I've been playing the same character over and over again, wearing a different skin. But Leo actually feels like a completely new character. Yes, he still shoots energy balls and has Tahu's shield powers, but he does have the ability to glide. So yeah, there's this Mask of Levitation powers in action. He also seems to have a certain skill curve, like swinging and following the Skilku bird. At least it's not as punishing as losing the sliding levels, where you're forced to watch an unskippable cutscene. The boss in this level is Panrak, and he's basically just a Mario Party minigame. Now, for reasons unknown, Panrak just drops a Borak Krana, which are supposed to be Borak masks, and not the worm creatures? Like, what? Suddenly the Boraks are back or something? Like, what does this have anything to do with the story? Was this originally a Borak level? So we play as Tahu for the second time, except he's a Toa Nuva now, but you're expecting some on-foot level of him. He's just a Kopaka sliding level, but worse. It's a racing game. The worst kind of racing game. But then again, I don't even like racing games. The obstacles are annoying, double jumping is unresponsive, Tahu shoots too slow, and it's just me or does the race feel rigged at times? Perhaps the worst obstacle here is this unskippable game over cutscene. Do I really need to see this over and over and over again because I suck at being a Toa of Fire? Where's the skip button?
I fell for hours!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Rakshi Staff of Anger in action.
I have no.
So Tahu wins the race because he don't let an ice Rakshi swim in lava, and he also ends up becoming the only witness in seeing Takua transform to Toa Nuva. No Jawa, no Puku, no other Toas. Like, he's the only key witness, and then Toa Nuva just teleports to the final boss's lair. Like, that's it? What about the other 3 Rakshis? What happened to them? And this is meant to be the final boss? Listen, I love the look of the area and all, but Makuta is a complete coward. He doesn't even try fighting back at you, he just sends out an army of Rai to do his work for him. It's not until the second phase where he actually does something where I have to disable his shield and deflect his energy back to him. Which is a cool nod to a Koli match, Faldel, but this finale disappointing. Now in the story, Toa Nuva and Makuta fell down to the Prodermis to become this fusion. But in here, Makuta just gives up like a complete baby and Toa Nuva just gives him a mask to heal him or something? What, does he feel sorry? Well, at least this version of the fusion looks better than the movie. The story ends with them opening up a wooden door, and that's it? No Toa Nuva to witness this? No Chiraga? And no chronicler to record this piece of history? Shit just happens, and credits starts. Game over. And that's it. That's the entirety of Bionicle the game. Great Spirit Motunui. What the hell was I playing? And more importantly, what the hell was I thinking keeping my expectations high just because it has the Argonaut names? When they only did like 1 or 2 memorable games, and think that this might be a misunderstood masterpiece. Sure, this game was made and developed for 2 years, giving them enough time, but you have to remember, the story was probably still not fully developed, and they probably weren't able to flesh out some of the world building and its lore. But at least maybe use that time for gameplay ideas. But no, even gameplay wise feels incomplete when almost every character uses the same power and the mechanic gets old quickly. Heck, has anyone noticed that the level select screen only has 2 Toa Nuva masks? That's because apparently there was going to be levels where you play as the original Toa Mata, when they even made in-game models of the characters. This makes Bionicle the game feeling like not just a rushed game, but an early access demo game released as a full release game. Actually no, maybe a more accurate term is this that it's like cookie dough. It's edible, sure, but unlike most cookie dough that tastes good, this still tastes like as if you've been using ingredients that are not only wrong, but has been expired for like a decade or so. And if you want more proof to show how rushed this game is, they literally have a T-posing Borak and a bunch of T-posing Chiragas that never even appeared in the game. Listen, as much as I love Bionicle, I really can't give this game a high score, so 1.5 Cinder points. It's not the best way to retell the story, and it's not the best way to experience the world of Bionicle. My best bet is just find a Bionicle story to read and just imagine the events going on in your head. Or watch the movies, or even better, play the Motunui online game, even though it isn't canon anymore. If you still want to feel like buying the game, I'd probably recommend it to Bionicle fans just wanting to get a physical copy of it. That is if you think that this game is worthy enough to be in your Bionicle collection. Well, guess that's all for now. This is Sending It, logging off until next time.